It's that time of the week where I tell your spooky stories, and today's story comes from a follower who wants to remain anonymous. This person is a doctor, and in their first year of medical school, they were taken to the dissection hall where they have the cadaver bodies in order to study the human anatomy better. This incident that they have told me about happened within the last couple of months, just before their exam, where they used to stay late with their best friend and study the anatomy and revise all of that in the dissection hall. The one morning they got there early because their professor was going to do like a revision session on the abdomen, and they found that their topic was quite difficult, so they went early to make sure that they had this session. They said that there was an old lady there who obviously had passed away, and that she looked very peaceful, with her mouth slightly open, and they started having a lot of questions about their life. These questions included things like what was her life like, how many kids did she have, and why did the family choose to donate her body specifically. The dissection was then started in order to do the revision session, and upon doing the dissection, this person's eyes fell onto their hand and realised that they had a wedding ring on, which made them feel very sad. Because they didn't know her name, they just proceeded to call her grandma, and while she was studying with her friends, they would often say things to her and talk to her like she was still a person. These usually just consisted of like normal medical things like, grandma, you didn't look after your lungs, things like that. Occasionally this person would have a dream of an old woman that was standing and smiling at them. It didn't happen very often, but it happened and they took note of it. One of the dreams was so vivid that they didn't even think it was a dream at the time. The dream was of them sleeping, and when they turned over there was a face next to their pillow. However, they said that this never actually scared them. Sometime during the pandemic, they had another dream where they would enter their room and they would see something that was under their bed. They obviously then proceeded to check what was under the sheets, and they found the same body of the same woman. Suddenly another person appeared, and they showed her a photo and proceeded to say, "Look at how beautiful she was. Look at her now." What happened next in this dream was truly terrifying. The man who had appeared proceeded to hack into, I'm not going to say because TikTok will ban me, and then proceeded to place what had been hacked away into this person's mouth. They froze in the dream and wanted to scream, however they couldn't. They then proceeded to wake up dripping in sweat and took note at the time that was 3:30. For a little bit of context on why that is important, 3:30, well, anywhere between like 3 and 4, is known as the witching hour. It's where the veil is thinnest and you are most likely to get activity. This person then proceeded to have another dream after they had fallen asleep on their bed the one day, reading a book. In this dream, there was an entity that was sitting on their chest. They could feel the heaviness on their chest of where this was being placed, and did eventually wake up. However, more happened when they proceeded to fall back asleep afterwards. When they had fallen back asleep, they proceeded to see the body of this same woman with her wedding ring on. However, since this incident, they haven't had any more dreams with this entity, with this woman, nothing. This person says they don't know if this was actually something paranormal or if perhaps their mind was playing tricks on them. They told one of their friends and they said that they could have potentially attracted some negativity, but have asked on everyone's opinion on what they think it might have been. A lot of people have told them that they are a doctor and that they should believe in science. However, they have this urge and feeling that maybe something more was going on. So let me know what you guys think. As always, if you wish to share your spooky story, send it to emmashaunteddolls@gmail.com for a chance to be featured in next week. Until next time, love you all, bye.